Gonna have to ask you a few questions. Why are you beating on him for?
He's one of them flesh-eating robots that old Eli Whitney done built.
Automated robots and androids did not exist in the late 18th century, and Whitney had nothing to do with robots all his life.
Check it out. George Washington's wooden teeth.
Next to the cherry tree myth, Washington did not wear any dentures made out of wood, though he did suffer through dental problems, which likely instigated the wooden teeth myth.
Oh, and my favorite. Young King David's slingshot.
Then how did he defeat Goliath?
To anyone who is an atheist, the historical accuracy of the tales of the Bible are still up for debate to this day.
Wow, I can't believe it! That's the Trojan horse!
The Trojan horse is actually a myth, as there is no historical record of a giant wooden horse being used to infiltrate the city of Troy.
I am Sinon, and I'm in charge of this operation.
While Sinon did exist in real life, the real leader of the Greeks during their battle with Troy was Agamemnon.
Happy birthday, King of Troy.
The battle between the Trojans and the Greeks did not take place during the King of Troy's birthday. Also, birthday banners did not exist in 500 BC.
Happy birthday, King of Troy, from the Egyptians.
As said before regarding birthday banners, wrapping paper, ribbons, and paper cards did not exist in 500 BC.
Little chocolate soldiers.
Chocolate was not known in ancient Greece until it was brought to Europe after Christopher Columbus's voyage.
Let's say that because of this instability in the past, the dodo bird never becomes extinct. And because of this, a young Henry Ford is attacked by one of these filthy creatures. He is so traumatized by the experience that he never invents the auto assembly line or the Model T.
Considering that the dodo bird would have to survive various lethal disasters that occurred after its time period, it's safe to say that it'd be a close impossibility to live on to Ford's time.
Say, who is this, Napoleon guy?
That's Napoleon! He ruled over France in 1796 and soon after conquered all of Europe.
Napoleon did not conquer all of Europe. The Great Britain and Russia were the only countries he didn't conquer.
Magnifique!
Napoleon's short height is a well-known mythology, as he was actually as tall as a man who just turned 18.
Napoleon Francis Bonaparte!
Napoleon's middle name was not Francis, but his son named after him was given the middle name.
You are supposed to be home with the kids!
Hey, who's the hairdo?
That's Josephine Bonaparte, Napoleon's wife.
Napoleon never had any children with Josephine, but he had 2 from a previous marriage. Their inability to conceive ultimately led to a divorce. Pizza did not exist in late 18th century France.
Okay, men, let's show them what we're made of. Thanks for all your help, boys. Ha!
Don't forget the baby's 3 o'clock feeding.
Well, I guess that worked out.
Oh, I love happy endings.
To anyone who's not in the know, Waterloo is when Napoleon was defeated. Historical-wise, the events of the episode take place in 1797, but the Waterloo battle took place 19 years later. Also, Napoleon and Josephine did not fight in the Waterloo battle together. Fireworks did not exist in ancient China, nor did printed t-shirts,
That's awesome! I'll take 3!
nor did American money.
I have cured them. They were all suffering from neurological disorders. But now, thanks to me, they are leading happy, productive lives. I will take my Nobel Prize now.
The Nobel Prize didn't exist until 2 years later in 1901, as this episode takes place in 1899.
Leonardo da Vinci?
He's a beatnik.
The beatnik phrase would not exist until 500 years after the Renaissance. Coffee shops did not exist until the 1800s.
Holy cow!
Various sources state that Mona Lisa's real name was Lisa Gherardini, who never worked as a waitress.
Oh, I was promised magic.
Ancient Rome, alongside ancient Greek for that matter, had laws that forbade magical practices, though in private magic seemed to have had a strong charm and was really valued at all society levels.
Holy cow!
Robin Hood was a storybook character and not a real person.
Yes, there he is, Prince John.
The episode takes place in 1156. Prince John wasn't born until a decade later.
For that cause for which they here gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain.
What Lincoln is doing here is giving the Gettysburg Address. And later in the episode, Otto says that Lincoln did not give the Emancipation Proclamation. In real life, Lincoln actually gave the Emancipation Proclamation 10 months before the Gettysburg Address. The doorbell was not yet patented until 1881.
Is your refrigerator running?
I guess.
Refrigerators did not exist in Lincoln's time period, hence why Lincoln is befuddled.
Dozen anchovy pizzas for a Lincoln?
Similar to the Napoleon example, pizza did not exist in 19th century America.
The fight to save the whales!
The motion of defending whales, or any sort of near-endangered fauna, did not start until the early 1980s.
Aren't he forgetting something?
And coloring books featuring endangered sea mammals and shellfish.
Coloring books did not exist in the early 18th century.
Kid called us lily livers, buttercups, and yellow bellies.
Ouch.
Yeah, Blackjack Bellamy's men aren't even using the S word.
Captain Kidd died in 1701, 16 years before the year that this episode took place in. And Blackjack Bellamy was named Black Sam Bellamy and sailed with Blackbeard before.